in, fish keepers, shrimp keepers, 10-gallon fish tank fanatics. Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. As you guys know, the first Sunday of every month, we do these live streams for everybody. And then the third Sundays of every month, we do members only live streams. So this one we're going to be doing for everyone today. So I see a couple people out there. Hope you guys are doing great. Don't forget, I got another iPhone set up over here. So if you comment, I can see your comments and interact and engage with you guys today and keep it fun and interactive. So what we're going to be doing today is talking about how you can generate profit or money from your aquarium. So a lot of us get into the hobby when we are starting out just enjoying the hobby, right? And then we get addicted, kind of like I did. And now I have over 40 tanks in this fish room and I'm continuing to expand. And part of that is like, how do we generate revenue so I can buy the next tank? And that was kind of my mindset. And how can I keep all the fish, shrimp, plants that I'm passionate about and be able to share that passion with others? And that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. So today's topic is how do we generate $500 a month from our fish tanks? And in the example I gave in the description of the video, it's talking about paying for your car payment, a Dodge Challenger, which is what I just recently got. You can't get the brand new fancy dancy Dodge Challenger probably, but you could get an old used, nice Dodge Challenger with a $500 a month monthly payment, and you can cover that cost completely with selling fish, shrimp, and plants. Now, I'm not personally doing that. What I'm doing is I'm taking all the money that I make from YouTube, 10gallonfishtanks.com, sales, everything goes right back into funding the next tank, and that's probably what I would recommend for most of you guys as well. So if you're out there watching, you got questions as I'm talking, post them in the comments, and I will answer those questions for whatever you guys might have. So kind of get into it. There's multiple aspects you want to think about when we are going into building tanks for profit. Most of you are probably going to start with one tank, right? Realistically, if you're out there, you're a kid, you're watching this, and you're like, hey, I want to get my first tank, I want to get more. You're probably going to start with one tank, and that's totally fine, totally normal. Start with one tank. That's what I did. I started with one 10-gallon tank, and I had cherry shrimp, some plants, a white cloud, and that was about it. And then from there, I sold the cherry shrimp. I sold some white clouds. I ended up getting some guppies, and I just went from tank to tank to tank. And then this whole fish room that you guys see in here that you watch on my channel has been completely paid for by selling fish, shrimp, and plants. Okay, so to kind of break it down, we want to generate $500 a month. Now, we're going to take this 48-inch cobalt rack that I built as the prime example. This is a relatively cheap rack and easy for those who get started. If you want to get started with something to breed for profit, I would probably recommend this 48-inch cobalt rack. Okay, so it's going to have 3 tiers. On the top, I personally have a ball python because I just want something different, something fun to have. But for most of you, I would recommend 10-gallon tanks at the bottom, 5-gallon tanks in the middle, 10-gallon tanks on top. Okay, 10, 5, 10. So it can house 4 10-gallon tanks at the bottom. You can then have 5 5-gallon tanks in the middle, and then you can have another 4 10-gallon tanks on top. And that's the typical setup I would recommend if you're going to be breeding for profit using this 48-inch cobalt rack. Now, I shot a video on this, so if you haven't watched it, go back, watch it. I can teach you guys how to do this complete setup. I also have this complete setup as a kit on my website. So if you guys want to just get a kit sent directly to your house, you can go on there and order it yourself. So for this example, we're going to assume we don't have a ball python. We have 10-gallon tanks up here, 5-gallon tanks here, 10 at the bottom. So what we want to start out thinking about is there's multiple different ways you can generate revenue out of your tanks. The most obvious one is fish. And that's what probably most people who are getting started into this, you're thinking, okay, generate profit, let me sell some fish. But there's a lot of other ways to make money. So fish, you can sell plants, aquatic plants. You can sell floating house plants. Then you can also sell snails and shrimp. Okay, so there's really 5 different layers of ways to generate revenue out of a tank. House plants, aquatic plants, snails, shrimp, and fish. Okay, that's going to be the 5 things we talk about today. Number 1, how much does one 10-gallon tank typically cost? If you're going to build it like how I'm building it, you're looking at about $100 per tank. Okay, the rack is about $260, and then if you do the whole rack with everything you need, you're looking at around $1,000. Okay, but in this example, maybe you start with one tank, and as you're making money, you just start buying tank to tank to tank, like I did. So starting with house plants. This is one that most people totally forget about and don't even think about when they get into the fish hobby is there's a whole nother side of being able to generate revenue in your tank, and that's houseplants. The two most common ones I like to use and I've made money on and consistently make money on every single month. Number one is pothos, which let me show you guys real quick. If you guys can see over here, you can see I have pothos on all my tanks. I propagate them, put them in my aquariums, and then as I go, people come in, buy them. And that's another great way to generate a little extra income is selling houseplants. So pothos, there's neon, there's golden, all sorts of different types of pothos. I'm not a huge houseplant person, but that's your first easy way to generate revenue is houseplants. So pothos, bamboo, snake plants. There's a totally different types. There's a ton of different types of plants, but typically you're going to stick with mainly pothos and bamboo. And that can go in the top layer of your tank, okay? First easy way to generate some money. Pothos cuttings you can typically sell for anywhere from like $2 to $10. It depends on your location, the competition, what quality you have. But if you're doing cuttings, I'd say anywhere from $2 to $5 is going to be pretty typical from some pothos cuttings. And that is a space that most fish keepers I'm seeing are missing out of when they're trying to generate revenue. They're not taking advantage of the space above their tank and tapping into the houseplant community and making sure that their fish hobby is also touching base with everybody out there who might also be into houseplants. That's a whole nother community you can tap into with your fish hobby because fish water is perfect for growing houseplants. And you could even just take fish water and propagate houseplants outside of the aquariums as well, and you can make a ton of money that way. I have a whole houseplant room set up for that as well. Next one, we're going to talk about the top layer of your tanks, and that's floating aquatic plants, okay? So in this scenario, if you're using the 48-inch cobalt rack, you're going to have 4 tanks at the bottom, 4 tanks at the top. My recommendation is each of these, whatever route you go, you want to have pothos in every single tank. So pick half the side. 2 of the tanks at the bottom will have pothos. 3 tanks in the middle are going to have pothos. 2 tanks at the top have pothos. Then the other side do bamboo. 2, 2, 2 with bamboo, okay? And then same thing now with our floating plants is we're going to have the floating plants split up as well. So you're going to want 4 different types of floating plants because we want to have variety for our customers that they can choose from. Now, the 4 I like to go from is my first and foremost, and you guys see it in all my tanks if you watch my content, and that is frogbit. Frogbit is an absolute gold mine. If you guys are out there, comment down below if you guys sell frogbit if you're watching this. But that's an absolute gold mine for me. I sell it like tons and tons of frogbit. So that's why every single one of my tanks right now has frogbit in it. But that'll be the first one. So in this scenario, if we're doing the 48-inch cobalt rack, you're going to do 1 tank with frogbit, the middle tank with frogbit, the top tank with frogbit. Every single thing we do on this rack, you're going to do 3 of. And the reason for that is you never want to run out of your supply. The biggest problem I see people starting out when they're trying to generate revenue on their aquariums is they run out of a supply and then they lose a customer base because you want a consistent customer base month after month, year after year, week after week, day after day. And if people are hitting you up for stuff and you're having to turn them away, they're going to go find someone else to go make their purchases from, okay? So 3 tanks of frogbit. That's your top floating plant. Then we're going to do dwarf water lettuce, and I have that in my pond over there. And you're, once again, 3 tanks of dwarf water lettuce, all 3 rows, okay? Then we're going to do red root floaters. That's a huge, really popular one. You can sell tons and tons of that, no problem. Once again, 3 tanks of dwarf red root floaters. And then finally, the last tank we're going to do is Slovenia, okay? So Slovenia will go on your last row over here, all 3 tanks, and you got a spare one that you can just do double up. So if you see one of your floating aquatic plants is selling a lot more than the other, then you will do whatever that extra tank is on your middle row, you will do another tank full of that floating aquatic plant. So just to recap, the floating aquatic plants we're going to do frogbit, dwarf water lettuce, red root floaters, and Slovenia, okay? Those 4, super easy to sell locally. And when it comes to red root floaters, frogbit, those 2 are super, super easy to ship. So if you're setting up other ways to make money, so like if you're just selling locally, any of these plants can work. But if you're also shipping, so I ship on 10gallonfishtanks.com, I ship on eBay, so I ship all over the US. So if you're shipping, some of these aren't going to do as well. They're a lot more difficult to ship. Like, for example, dwarf water lettuce, very challenging to ship. If you guys know how to ship it, comment below because I need to learn. Because whenever I try to ship it, it dies. So some of these are going to do really well shipping, some not so much. But you want to kind of keep that in mind too as you're setting this up. If you're trying to generate your first $500 a month from your aquariums, you need to make sure you're picking smart plants that you can sell locally and you can ship out. Okay. Next thing we want to do is the bottom part of your tank. Okay. The bottom part of the tank is also another revenue source. And this is also going to set you up for when you're getting your fish and your shrimp. The bottom of the tank is going to be vital. So people love moss, especially shrimp keepers. So if you're going to be selling moss or selling shrimp in your tanks, which is what I'm going to recommend, you are going to want to have 4 different types of moss. So once again, each tank, you're going to do moss, a different type of moss in each one of the bottom tanks, and then you're going to double it up. Same type of moss above, same type of moss on the very top. So for this example, and this is literally what I've done to pay for my whole fish room, is you're going to go with Java moss in the bottom tank, Java moss, Java moss. Okay. Then we do Taiwan moss at the bottom, Taiwan, Taiwan, spiky moss, spiky moss, spiky moss, and then subwasser tang. If you're not familiar with subwasser tang, it's a freshwater aquatic moss that is very similar to seaweed. Love it. It's cool. I just did it in a fish bowl that I built over here, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool plant. If you haven't seen it before, it definitely gets people interested. They see it and they're like, what is this? And is this freshwater? Yep, it is. It's a subwasser tang, freshwater, pretty much seaweed. Pretty cool. So you're going to do 3 tanks of each type. Okay. Once again, you're going to do 2-ounce cuttings of this moss. So as you put the moss in each tank throughout the month, cut it, help propagate it. It'll help stimulate it to grow faster. And then when you go to sell it, get little 2-ounce cups from Walmart or 2-ounce sample cups from Kroger, wherever you might be. I'm out here in Nashville. And so I picked some of those up. It's like $2, pack of like 50. Super cheap. And then you have a consistent way. You can cut the moss, put it in the cup, and you can sell that cup of moss for about $10. All right. So now we have floating aquatic plants. We got bottom plants, which is our moss, and we got house plants. Each of those are going to generate revenue for us. The next one is going to be our bottom, a couple other like bottom plants. And that's going to be things like Vallisneria, Java ferns, guppy grass, hornwort, pearlweed, and then Pogostimmon stellatus, octopus plant, right? There's a lot of different types you could do, but those are my common ones that I recommend if you're trying to, if you're a beginner, you're getting out there trying to generate your first $500 a month from your tanks. Those are going to be some really good, easy to grow, easy to propagate aquatic plants that you can generate that customers always want. Okay, so once again, I would recommend you pick each tank and you do a different type. So do Val in the bottom tank on the right, Val. So 3 tanks of Vallisneria, 3 tanks of Java fern, 3 tanks of guppy grass, 3 tanks of hornwort, and 3 tanks of pearlweed. Okay, each one has 3 of each, and then you can actually mix some a little bit. I wouldn't mix tanks that have guppy grass and pearlweed, but you could do Vallisneria and pearlweed. You could do Vallisneria and guppy grass. You could do the Java ferns and the Pogostimmon octopus plant. All those you could kind of mix together, and you could have multiple rows. But having consistent supply of your plants is going to be key because, like I said, you want people coming back. So that's going to be your beginner-friendly, easy revenue generators for plants. So just to recap, for those of you, the 5 of you who just tuned in, houseplants wise, we're going with pothos and bamboo to generate money from the outside of our aquarium and tap into a new customer base. That can probably generate you another, if you do it right, $50 a month, maybe more. Then you want to go into your frog bit, dwarf water lettuce, red root floaters, and Slovenia for our floating section. And just being transparent with that, just from frog bit, I generate $300 a month just on my frog bit. And then we want to target moss because we're going to be putting shrimp in here to help us generate money, and people love moss and there's always never enough supply of moss. So Java moss, Taiwan moss, spiky moss, and subwasser tang. You don't have to go with those specifically. Those are just ones I like and I sell a lot of. Okay. And then the bottom plants we're doing, once again, is Val, Java fern, guppy grass, hornwort, pearlweed, and the Pogostimmon stellatus octopus plant. Okay. Those are easy money generators, easy ways to generate some extra income. Hey, what's up, Jay's Aquatics? Appreciate it. I wish you said, I wish I had all that. Hey, very easy. Follow this video and start generating some revenue, and you can build this probably in a couple months. if you don't already. I can't remember if you're a part of our National Fish Keeper group, Jay, but if you're not, post in the National Fish Keeper, show your setup over there. I love to see it. Always a good time. So appreciate you tuning in. Everybody who's watching out there, if you got questions or comments, throw them in there, and I can see it on my other iPhone I got set up so I can interact with you guys today as well. All right, so we talked about the plants. Aquatic plants, if you do it right, super, super simple and easy. Realistically, like I said, I sell $300 a month of just frog bit, and that's because I ship it out everywhere. But there's a lot of money made in plants. That's the best way, and we'll kind of get into how to go about selling shrimp, fish, and snails, and how to find a customer base here in just a little bit. And that's why having your plant setup is probably the most important thing you do, because having good quality plants ready to go is going to drive your traffic in, and then you can make a lot of money from your fish and your shrimp and snails. Also, Jay said you should get a fancy goldfish. I like that. I should. So I rescued a goldfish in a video, and it was just a common goldfish a couple of weeks ago. And unfortunately, he ended up passing away today. It was very, very sad. Out of nowhere. He was perfectly healthy last night. This morning, woke up, he just was dead out of nowhere. So I love goldfish. After having just a common goldfish that I rescued, definitely want to get more. They're super, super cool. So Jay, let me know, what type of fancy goldfish do you recommend for me, man? I'd love to get one. And if I do, I need a name for it as well. So comment the type of goldfish I should get and a good name for it. And when I get it, I'll give you a shout out. So on top of that, we're going to be talking about snails. So the next easy way to generate money is with snails, and ones that you can always sell and people always want are assassin snails. Okay, assassin snails are a must. You can buy them online, ship them in, and you can start breeding them. They love to eat other snails, so get yourself a good supply of assassin snails. Make sure if you're getting assassin snails, make sure you have like pond snails, ram's horn snails, and then make sure you have a lot of bloodworms and high protein foods, because they need a lot of protein. But for me, I have assassin snails in this tank, and as you guys know, all of my tanks have snails in them. I love it because I like to build ecosystems. But I have bladder snails, I have pond snails, I have ram's horn snails, I have mystery snails. And the snail side of thing is what I'm going to be getting into more. I didn't do a good job about having snails when I first started in the hobby. Recently, it's something I'm kind of getting into and getting better at. I see Seabreeze Tropicals in here as well. What's up, Seabreeze? It was cool seeing you on a live stream a couple days ago, or like a week ago. I saw you in another live stream. I'm going to snag some frog bit from you soon. The darn duckweed is a... I hate duckweed, not going to lie. So yeah, Seabreeze Tropicals, I appreciate it. Hit me up. If you want to get it a little bit cheaper, shoot me a message on 10 Gallon Fish Tanks Facebook page. And I'm going to be posting it on eBay, and you can actually get it cheaper on eBay than you can on my website. Or just hit me up and I can ship it to you from my website. And I can give you a special discount code to make the shipping a little bit cheaper for you. So before you order, message me and I'll hook you up with a deal. A ranchu or I don't even know how to say it, or renata. Okay, I'll look those up. I need a name, so we need a name for the goldfish. So ranchu or renata. All right. I did fall in love with goldfish. After having a common goldfish for the last month that I rescued, I do want another one. They have such cool personalities, so a lot of fun. Seabreeze says, thank you. You'll be hearing from me tomorrow. Awesome. Sounds good, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, snails, right? Assassin snails. Once again, we're going to do a different type of snail in each one of these tanks. So assassin snails, assassin snails, assassin snails. So once again, just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, 10 gallons, 4 of them at the bottom, 5 on the middle, 4 at the top. So all 3 tanks are going to assassin snails. We want to be breeding assassin snails, and they do not breed quickly. It's a pretty slow process. You want to have 3 tanks of them set up. Next thing, ram's horn snails. I like those. People like them. They breed quick. They breed easy. So if you're a beginner, it's an easy way to make money. I sell ram's horn snails for anywhere from 25 cents to $1 per snail. Easy way to make extra money. It's going to help keep your tank a little bit cleaner. And they breed like crazy. And then it's also food. If you get too many of them, it's food for your assassin snails. So I like to have some ram's horn snails. Next, mystery snails. That's a must. Tons of different types of mystery snails. They're pretty easy to breed. You can look it up and research how to do it. But I have a local guy I work with to get all my ram's horn snails, and they are awesome. Grow big, eat lots of algae. People love them, super easy to sell. So do 3 tanks of mystery snails. I would probably do 3 different types. Okay, do like blue, ivory, and another type. But do 3 tanks of mystery snails. The next one that you want to do to generate revenue is a neurite snail. Those, once again, people love them, tons of different types of them. So get a bunch of different varieties of neurite snails and do 3 different tanks of neurite snails. And then finally, you can do any other type of snail that you want to do, but that's 4 different types. So you'd be all set and you have snails in every single one of your tank. Once again, selling snails, that's not probably going to generate you as much profitability as some of the other stuff, like the plants you're going to sell tons and tons of. But you'll still start generating a little bit of revenue from that. Okay, this one's the money maker. This is the one that gets the people going, gets people excited, and that's cherry shrimp or Neocaridina shrimp. And this is how I literally built my whole fish room. So for those of you tuning in, if you haven't watched before, I know Jay's Aquatics and Seabreeze Tropicals, you guys have been watching for a while. But I mean, I built this whole fish room pretty much off shrimp, right? I got my 84-inch rack. I got my whole little like cash wrap set up. I just did a beta bowl build that's going to be popping off on my channel for the mid-level water squad. You guys will already see that. I got a beta I rescued in that tank, and then I got a pond hiding out in the corner, right? So cherry shrimp are very in demand right now. There's a huge amount of people who want them, and you can make a lot of money. So like I said, I started with 1 cherry shrimp tank, and it's pretty much paid for my whole fish room because I took the profits from it, bought another tank, bought another. Typical fish room, fish keeper who got addicted and just went a little crazy, turned his whole garage into a fish store pretty much. So cherry shrimp, that's a must. Those will sell night and day, right? You will always have a customer. As of right now, until it gets oversaturated, you will always have a customer base for cherry shrimp. So once again, my biggest challenge is keeping cherry shrimp or keeping my shrimp in stock. So I'm currently in the process, and I'll actually flip you guys over here for a second and show you, but I'm in the process of every one of these tanks, having 3 tanks of every type of shrimp I have, so I can keep the inventory going, because I don't like to ship shrimp in. I like to get them, breed them, and then everything I make from that is 100% profit that I can throw into my next build. So I do 3 tanks of everything. So, and for this example, once again, if you're doing the 48-inch cobalt rack, which is a great beginner rack to start with if you're trying to breed for profit, you're going to do 3 tanks: cherry shrimp, cherry shrimp, cherry shrimp. And then the game plan is there's 2 routes, and we'll talk about this more. You can either sell to individuals or you can sell to stores. Okay, they have pros and cons. If you're going to sell to a store, you need to make sure you have a very good, reliable, steady supply of shrimp, because if you're not reliable, they will find somebody else. So 3 tanks: cherry shrimp, cherry shrimp, cherry shrimp. Okay, that's going to be your number 1 seller. I would probably, because we got 5 tanks in the middle, I would do another tank of cherry shrimp. Okay, and then the other shrimp I would recommend, just from seeing my own personal sales, you're going to want to go with blue shrimp. That's my 2nd most popular. Yellow shrimp, that's my 3rd, and then orange shrimp are my 4th. I don't recommend going with green shrimp, green jades, or anything like that. They don't breed very true. Typically, you have to call a ton of them. Customer base isn't there. At that point, you're kind of going to like more niche, that niche customer base. And your majority of customers are going to be just the general pop. People getting into the hobby, and they like flashy colors. And that's a common problem I've seen with a lot of people who are starting out trying to breed for profit, is they pick animals that they like, and that's great. And I always promote that, like breed fish, shrimp, and plants that you personally like. But you also got to be smart about it, because if you're picking like just brown fish, brown, green, like shrimp, they blend in, and then you don't really have a customer base. So your biggest customer base for most people are going to be Gen Pop, and they want bright colors that stand out, that catch their attention when they look at the tanks. So yeah, we're going to stick with red, blue, yellow, and orange. And once again, it's perfect. You want 3 tanks of each. Now, why do we do 3 tanks of each? And I'll get to some of the comments here in just a second. Reason is I want to pull from a different tank every month. So the problem, once you start getting this going, you start getting a customer base, you start getting reviews, it's going to start growing, right? More people are going to be buying from you. So you need to have a steady supply. And if you pull too many shrimp from your tank, you're going to deplete your tank down deplete your colony down, and then you're going to run out of supply or not be able to provide enough shrimp to your customer base. So each month you just pull from a different tank, and that gives each tank that you're not pulling from 2 months to regenerate the colony back, regenerate the population. So it allows you to always have shrimp available for your customer base. So 3 tanks of each colorway. One more time, cherry, blue, yellow, and orange. Those are my top 4 sellers, and specifically in that order. And since this mid row has 5-gallon tanks on it, I'm going to do an extra round of cherry shrimp in this tank. And that kind of brings me to what I'm doing is I'm now trying to become a wholesaler pretty much to local stores, which means I'm now filling every single one of my tanks, which was not the case prior, with shrimp, because I want to have like the most ridiculous, high quality, biggest supply of shrimp in the area that no one has more than me, so that I can consistently start providing stores, because I'm selling online, I'm selling locally. The only thing I'm not doing consistently right now, and I've done in the past, but I haven't done it consistently because I don't have a consistent enough supply of them, is supply shrimp to local stores. So that is the next thing I am working on in my fish room. Okay, finally, and this is another build you're going to be seeing soon. Right here where I have this cage, I'm going to be doing another 48-inch cobalt rack, and we're going to be doing, this is my first time announcing it. So you guys, if you're watching, you guys are lucky, you get to hear it here first. But I'm going to be doing rice fish, okay? We're going to be doing a rice fish rack, and that one's going to be a lot of fun. I've never done rice fish. That's becoming a big part of the fish community right now, and I'm about to do a whole rice fish build right here on this next 48-inch rack. But the fish that we're going to do, if we're trying to generate $500 a month, is going to be high-end guppies. And we'll get into the different fish. 1 second, let me look at the comments real quick, see what I missed. I also have albino corridors, tetras, just because of you. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Jay's Aquatics, appreciate it, man. They're fun. If you don't have the albino pygmy cories, do you have albino pygmy cories or regular albino cories? I have both, but if you don't have the albino pygmy cories, you got to get them. They're super small, super cute, and super, like, you don't find them a whole lot. So Jay, that's sick. I love it. And I love tetras. Neon tetras are probably my favorite. One of my favorites. And then CPDs. I have a local breeder out here who gave me some CPDs, and they are doing so good. So I'm going to try and get them breeding as well. He's going to bump up his breeding facility, and he's going to get different genetics and trying to make the lines a little bit stronger for us, because we want to make sure that we're improving the hobby, not just generating money, but we're giving good quality fish and actually getting the genetics better. And that's one of the problems with CPDs right now is the genetics are really bad. So he's going to get different lines of CPDs and breed them and hopefully make the line stronger. I'm going to try and breed them as well, because that's my favorite fish. And then Jay says, I'm trying to get cherry shrimp tank so I can breed them and sell them. Nice. Yep, definitely do it. If you need some, Jay, if you need some, I can ship them out to you. Just let me know. And once again, I can hook you up with a better deal than you see on my website. Just reach out. And then Seabreeze says, sweet. And Jay has regular albino cories. Cool. When you get an extra tank, get yourself some pygmy cories or some albino pygmies. Trust me, they're like little mini hummingbirds. A lot of fun. Really, really good time. All right, we're going to get back into how we generate money. So we want to do easy to breed, easy to take care of fish. And what I've found, at least in my area out here in Nashville, that typically is going to be high-end guppies, right? Every time I get high-end guppies, I have them available, I just sell out. So if you guys go look at my website, it's like sold. Everything's sold out every time. So recently I did a video on this cobalt rack, and this is what we call Guppy Nation. And I have 4 new types of guppies. So for me, it's Dumbo red-tailed guppies, Galaxy blue grass guppies. We got the purple mosaics, and we got the Galaxy neon bluetail. And I have guppy fry in every single one of these tanks right now. Okay. So got fry in there, and then as soon as I got fry, somebody came here and bought all my fry. So now I have more fry. But I can't even get these guppies to be full grown yet, because people come to my fish room, they're like, oh, I want the parents. I'm like, trust me, I wanted the parents too. That's why I bought them. That's why I shipped them in here, because no one had them. But I'll sell you my fry. They're not full grown yet, but if you want the fry, sure, I guess I'll sell them to you before they grow up. And so people buy my fry out, and I can't even get them to adults because they get bought before I can even get them raised up, which, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it's a little frustrating because I want to see how they look when they get older. But all that to say, guppies are a great option to go with if you're trying to make money, okay? So 4 types of guppies, just like I did, right? That's easy generating. Get 2 females, get a trio, 2 females, a male. And then the females are going to, you know, drop about 30 to 80 to 100 babies every single month for you. So you're looking at anywhere from like 30, probably 30 to 100 babies a month, right? And what I would do if we're doing a setup like this, grab the female, throw her in the tank, she'll give birth to the babies. Then once the babies get a little bit bigger, move them to the top tank. So once again, it's going to be 3 tanks of one type of guppy, okay? So females give birth, guppies go, and then once they get bigger, the fry get bigger, they go up in the top tank. That way you have a consistent supply. You pick out the best ones, you put them back in the bottom tank, and you keep breeding them out and making the lines better and better. And ship in different genetics so you don't get too much interbreeding and make the lines go down. But all that to say, 3 tanks of each type. So for me, it's Dumbo Redtail, Galaxy Neon Bluegrass, Purple Mosaics, and then Galaxy Neon Bluetail, okay? So high-end guppies always are a fan favorite, and you can make a lot of money from. Also, high-end rice fish, and that's, like I said, I'm about to be putting in here the next couple months, depending on sales and revenue, because like I said, it just depends on how much I'm making, depends on how fast I can expand. But we are going to take another 48-inch rack and we're going to do rice fish. Big demand for those. People are constantly hitting me up right now. Do you have rice fish? Do you have rice fish? Do you have rice fish? And I have to say no and suggest them to someone else. I don't want to have to keep doing that. I want to have them come back to me. So we're going to be doing a little rice fish setup. So we got our Guppy Nation. We'll do rice fish nation, whatever you guys want to call it. Put a comment down below what we should call it, and we'll do rice fish nation, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to do some rice fish. So guppies, rice fish, or white clouds. If you're a beginner getting into breeding for profit, it's 3 easy ones. White clouds I would kind of avoid. You can generate revenue with it, but the demand's not really there like some of the, at least where I'm at, like some of the others. So rice fish, guppies, endlers, those are all really easy ones to kind of get into breeding that will have a fan base. Biggest common thing though, for those of you doing this, make sure you don't interbreed these guppies if you're really trying to generate revenue from it. Because I have people, for example, I had someone hit me up last week and they asked me to buy their guppies. I was like, okay, send me some photos. And they had all the guppies put into a tank, a bunch of different types. And I was like, hey, I hate to tell you this, but I couldn't even give you $1 for them because they're all mixed. I'm not going to be able to make money on them. Like as soon as you start mixing guppies, the value and the profitability of them just go out down the tank. So don't mix them up. Keep them in their separate tanks. And that is how you can easily generate $500 a month from your fish tanks. Pay for a car payment, Dodge Challenger, not a brand new one because we're not getting rich off fish keeping. We're just trying to make enough to be able to buy more tanks, pay for a car, whatever it might be, depending on what situation that you are in life. And for me, I don't use the money I make from my fish tanks to pay for a car, but maybe, you know, if you're a kid out there, you're 15 years old, 16, you're about to get your first car and you have fish tanks, this could be a way you could generate enough money to pay for a car on a monthly basis for you. It starts with 1 tank and then just buy your 2nd tank, 3rd tank, 4th tank, and just expand from there. A couple months down the road, if you do a good job, you will have easily $400 or $500 a month coming in just off your tanks, generating revenue. So just kind of recap for the 10 of you out there. I see a couple more comments. So Seabury says, my 29-gallon community tank is now a guppy mansion. I like that. Guppy mansion, baby. Let's go. I'm in over my head right now. I need some advice. I think it's time I schedule a consultation with you. Yeah, if you need some help, hit me up. For those of you watching, I do consultations. You can either hit me up on 10-gallon fish tanks on Facebook, or you can go to my website and book it from there. Either way, absolutely love to help you out. Guppies can go crazy. If you don't have a game plan to get rid of them, you can get overrun. So I appreciate that, Seabreeze. Appreciate you, man. So my guppy mansion, which is totally unplanned, is exactly what you said to not do. Uh-oh. Okay, uh-oh. No, don't like that. So probably what you need to do, we'll go right on the live stream for everyone watching, is if you have the situation I just talked about, you put all your guppies into one, and now you have thousands of guppies that are pretty much worthless. The best thing you can do is post them in your local fish group and say, hey, I got mutt guppies that I'm looking to rehome for really cheap, and then sell them at 25 cents a piece. That's what I did. So I got my calls, every single type of my guppies that breed, I have to call because I want to make sure when I'm selling you a fish, it's to the fullest standard it needs to be. So I sell my calls usually for $1, but if I get overrun, I drop it all the way down to 25 cents. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. And then after that, we need to get you set with a guppy tank with one type of guppy, and then you can generate a good amount of revenue from that. And make sure you go around to your local fish stores. Another piece of advice for those of you out there, guppies are going to get overrun in your community, because if you're selling guppies to your local community, other people are going to have them. So my best piece of advice, if you're not just selling off your own website like I'm doing, or selling locally off your own business page like I'm doing, and you're planning on partnering with a store, before you get those guppies in, go around to all the stores and see what guppies they have, and kind of build a relationship with your local fish stores and find out what they're wanting and what their customer base wants, and then go pick out a high-end guppy that you like, breed a ton of them, get a really, really good supply. Don't sell any until you have a whole good supply of them, where you can consistently drop like 30 to 100 bait, like 100, like give away like probably 50 to 100 guppies every single month. And then bam, go to your fish store and sell it to that one fish store and build a relationship where they will only buy those guppies from you. Because as soon as those guppies get out to the rest of the community in your area, everybody's going to start selling them. And you want to be the person who has that relationship established with your store, so they buy them from you and not somebody else. So wait to provide those guppies to your community until you got locked in what you want to do, your strategy. So for me, my strategy, I sell online, I sell locally, and I have my business, so people still come to me no matter what. If you're not in that position yet, wait to sell your guppies until you have them locked in, so that you can be the go-to, because as soon as you start selling them to people, everyone will have them. And it's going to depend on your relationships you built and your business to make sure people come back to you rather than going to somebody else. Jay said, how many shrimp do I start with? Okay, good question. So, yep, I would start with about 16 to 20 shrimp per tank. So if we're doing Neocaridina shrimp and we're doing 3 tanks of it, I would go with at minimum 16 in each one of those tanks. If you're on a budget and you can't afford, and if you're like, maybe you're just starting with 1 tank of it instead of 3 tanks like I'm recommending, 16 is the minimum I'll go with. If you really want to kickstart it, I personally, when I'm starting a shrimp tank, I ship in about 50 to 60 and just kickstart it right from there. But the minimum I would start with is 16. Hopefully that helps you out, Jay. Seabreeze, sounds good. Contact you about the consultation as well as get you my order. I love these guppies, but they're OOC. Yep. You can get overrun with guppies pretty quick. All right, so the last thing I want to touch on, and we'll wrap, if we don't have a whole lot more comments, I'll wrap up this live stream here in a little bit, is talking about how are we going to build a customer base. And I talk about this in a lot of my other videos on my channel, but I wanted to do it on a live stream with you guys as well, and kind of touch base on how to find your customer base. So for me, like I said, it's all through my plants. This is how I started. I started with plants, shrimp, and white clouds, and then I built my tanks from there. So how do you find your customer base? Okay, it's kind of daunting when you're getting into it. Up until I started doing it, there wasn't a whole lot of research. All the research I saw online was like telling you to go to fish stores, build connections with your fish community, maybe go to local fish meetups and sell that way. If you're new in the hobby and maybe you're like not super social, like I don't always like going to big groups and interacting with a lot of people. I kind of like antisocial sometimes. I don't like hanging out with a lot of people. It's intimidating going to big groups and big fish get-togethers. So I've only been to like one myself. Then you might need another way to generate a customer base. So for me, how I did it was going on Facebook. Okay, you can't sell fish, shrimp, or plants on Facebook, but you can't sell fish, shrimp, or snails on Facebook. You can't sell animals on Facebook, but you can sell plants. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to post photos of our plants that we're selling. And that's why I said you want a lot of different plant options, because you want to have like 16 to 20 different plant posts on Facebook. Okay, you're going to post your plants on Facebook under aquatic plants, which are allowed to sell. And the main photo is always going to be your plant or your fish room or something to catch somebody's attention, right? Like my main photo sometimes is my fish room and it sells like aquatic plants, or I'll do like a specific tank or whatever you want it to be. But the first photo needs to be the plant that you're selling, and it needs to be catchy. Then you can attach up to about 10 photos to that posting. And in the background of the photo of your plants, that's where you're going to post your shrimp, fish, and snails. Okay, works like a charm. It's crazy, and I figured this out on my own because, like I said, all the advice online was go sell your local store, go to your local fish meetups, and I didn't have time to do those things. So I'm also working a main job. I was at the time working 70 to 100 hours a week. I didn't have time to go to like local fish stores, fish meetups. Like I was working most of the week, and then on weekends I had time to actually spend in my fish room. Other than that, I had like 15 minutes to an hour at night to spend in my fish room to enjoy it. But throughout the week, I was super, super busy. So that's why we do Facebook posts with plants. And in the background, that's where you include all your shrimp, fish, and plants. And then people will message you, hey, you have this plant, yep. And you also need to create a funnel system. So do you have this plant? Do you have this? They'll see the photos like CPDs, and they'll be like, hey, is that cool fish with the spots available? You're like, yes, sir, it's available. And then you can hit them up and supply them with fish, shrimp, and plants. And just doing that, like even right now, I just a second ago, I just got an order for some frog bit. So somebody's about to jump in here and pick up some frog bit. And then I had someone earlier today just order the guppy grass. And that's literally from my Facebook posts. And they're going to come, we're going to schedule a local meetup and they're going to get it. So it works great. It gives you it's totally free too, which is cool. So it doesn't cost you anything to post, completely free, completely able to do it without any costs. So whether you're on a budget, you don't have a lot of money to spend, or you're not, completely free, and you get tons and tons of views. And that's literally how I built this fish room, is just off Facebook post with plants, shrimp, snails, all that in the background. Just do not post that your fish, your shrimp, or your snails are for sale, because then you will get kicked off Facebook and you can get banned. So you can only post on the post. They must only say plants for sale, and then just have photos of your shrimp, fish, and snails in the background with the plants, so you don't get banned. That's how you generate on Facebook. The other way, and I've done this not consistently, but I did do it here and there, and is you can partner up with a local fish store. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get to here soon, is I want to sell online, I want to sell locally, but I also want to be able to be the main provider of shrimp to one of the local stores out here. So that is why I'm ramping up my shrimp production, because right now I can't keep up with the amount of sales I have on my website and in person. And so I can't consistently, and this store needs, I talked to them already, and they need about 120 shrimp every single month from me. Okay. So I need a lot of shrimp consistently above what I'm already making to be able to provide that. And they all need to be the right size, colored up, good color, all that. So that means I got to either expand mine. I do also have a business partner I'm working with who is going to be doing a bunch of shrimp, and we're going to go do a shrimp takeover in a good way, and hopefully be the main providers of shrimp in the area. So let's look at another couple questions. So Facebook posts, local fish stores, and then yes, you can go to swap meets, fish meets. Out here in Nashville, we have the Nashville Fish Keeper group, which I started. We're getting close to 800 members on there. And then we also have the Music City Aquarium Society. I've only been to one of their meetings so far. I need to go to more. Whenever they always fall on Saturdays, and Saturdays I usually am busy. But you can also become a part of an aquarium society, aquarium membership, aquarium group, and you can go interact with other fish keepers. I met a lot of awesome people of the Music City Aquarium Society, great people, a lot of fun, that have great events. So find your local community where you're at and go get engaged, go talk to people, go be a part of their groups. And that's another way. So those three ways are super easy ways to have a consistent customer base. And then the final way is selling online. And that's either through your own personal website or through eBay. And we'll go through a couple more questions here in just a second, but eBay works pretty good. You have to be careful. Like, once again, if you're selling frog bait, you're selling any sort of floating plants or any type of plant, make sure you research where they are legally allowed to be sold to, because some are banned. And I almost got kicked off eBay for that by accident. I didn't realize frog bait was banned in certain states, and I accidentally sold some to a state it was banned in, and eBay almost kicked me off. I was like, my bad. I made a mistake. I'm human. So, you know, yeah, you got to be careful, know the rules, make sure you're doing it legally, and don't get yourself in trouble. But eBay's powerful, massive customer base. The challenges you're going to face there is, how are we going to ship plants? How are we going to ship fish on eBay? How are you going to ship them on your website? And if you're asking that question, go check my videos on my channel. If you're new to the channel, you haven't watched it yet, I have videos on how to ship plants, how to ship fish, all that. Pretty easy, pretty simple. It's very intimidating at first. I was scared to do it. I didn't do it for a really long time. but I've gotten into it and it's really not that hard and not that challenging. So those are the 4 ways to generate Facebook posts with plants, with fish, shrimp, and snails in the background. Your local community fish groups, your local stores you can build partnerships with, or you can sell online through places like Aquabid, eBay. Your own website. There's a couple other ones that I'm blanking on right now. Let's see what other questions we have here. We got Carl in the chat. What's up, Carl? You are the epitome of what destroys the hobby. Why don't you just do your thing, make your money, and remain quiet? You have no true knowledge to give the hobby. It's only the dollar for you. Awesome. Carl, I appreciate your comment, man. All comments are good comments. And that's a prime example of somewhat of what we call haters, and that's all good because everything, if you watch my channel and knew who I was, you know everything in my fish room is fish, shrimp, plants that I love and keep for myself. The biggest thing I promote, if you guys are new, is breed fish, keep fish that you personally love and enjoy. So every single one of these fish you see in my fish room are fish, shrimp, and plants that I absolutely love. So if I'm the epitome of what destroys the hobby, then so be it. I will be the epitome of that. And Carl, I'm going to make a shirt on that comment. I appreciate it. I got to screenshot that. I love it. Thank you, Carl. Let's see. What do we have next? Oh, we got the Mexicali Fish Keeper. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. He's in the chat. Good to see that as well. So that is what I had for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Just to kind of quickly recap, if you want to be able to pay for more tanks, support your hobby, and fund every single thing that you're trying to do, because like I said, when I got into this hobby, there was like tons and tons of fish I wanted to keep, and I didn't want to spend all my personal money on it to be able to keep them. So I wanted to be able to generate some revenue so I could buy the fish, shrimp, and plants I wanted without having to take from my own paycheck. Just to kind of recap what we talked about really quickly, and then we'll wrap it up. If you guys got any other questions, I'll answer those. That's going to be you can start with a cobalt rack. You can do 4 10-gallon tanks at the bottom, 5 on the middle, 5 on top. Then we're going to do house plants, because that gives you a whole nother customer base, pothos, and bamboo. That's an easy way to generate revenue. Floating plants like frogbit, red root floaters, Slovenia, and dwarf water lettuce can all generate money for you on the top level. Then we want to generate money from our bottom level, and that's through moss. Things like Java moss, Christmas moss, Taiwan moss, Subwassertang. Those are all great for the shrimp that you want to keep. And people love them and need it, and usually don't have enough at your local aquarium store. So you can keep moss. And once again, each type of plant you're doing, do 3 tanks of it if you're trying to really have a good supply. Okay. Then we want to do other types of plants, things like Valsinaria, think Java ferns, guppy grass, all sorts of different things like that. You can do in the middle part of the tank, and that's going to help suck up the nitrates and help get rid of all the stuff that could kill your fish on top of your normal filtration, right? So we do all those different types of plants. Then the other way to make revenue is from snails. And like we talked about, assassin snails, neurite snails, mystery snails, and ram's horn snails, and even bladder snails can all be money makers and revenue generators for you. Okay, and once again, 3 tanks of all that. Then we want to do shrimp. Most important, cherry shrimp, blue shrimp, yellow shrimp, orange shrimp. All those are great. Once again, do 3 tanks of each. And then finally, high-end guppies, rice fish, or white cloud minnows are all awesome ones to get started if you're trying to breed for profit. So, and through doing that, if you had a whole 48-inch rack like this, you should be able to easily generate $500 a month just off the rack. Let's go through a couple more comments, and we'll wrap it up here if you guys got anything else. Seabreeze Tropicals, thanks, my friend. I'll be in contact tomorrow. The Carls of the world just anger and depressed and don't have time and space for them. All good. Hey, like I say, guys, all publicity is good publicity. Love and hate, I welcome you guys all in. My place, for me, I'm all about positivity, fun, and helping you guys be successful, being successful, and having fun in the hobby. And I say it over and over and over again. Even if I wasn't making money from the hobby, I'd still be in the hobby having fun because of all the amazing, cool people like Seabreeze Tropicals, Jay's Aquatics, Even Carl, right? Everybody. I have love for everyone. Whether you love me or hate me, I love you. So it doesn't matter. It's all good. Seabreeze, keep up the good work. Outstanding. Dave's Fish Cave. Everyone hit the thumbs up except Carl. Now, guys, show love to Carl too. This community of positivity, love, and we're going to have fun no matter what. No one's going to bring us down. And so whether you're hating on me, loving me, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I welcome it. All publicity is good publicity, and I appreciate everybody who's tuning in, both good and bad. So thanks for the live stream, guys. Hope you're having an amazing week. As always, stay positive, uplift your fellow community members, and get more 10-gallon fish tanks, because I guarantee you, you don't have enough. Get more. If you don't have a 10-gallon tank, get a 10-gallon tank, because 10-gallon tanks are the best tanks. All right, guys. Night, brothers. You guys have good week. And I'm doing 24 hours in the fish room tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys later. Peace.